You're welcome to the show. I am Kachi Yofia.
And I'm Oji Akbe.
Now, we are your hosts for the next hour on our daily roundup of the past week in entertainment.
So get ready for a jam-packed hour of showbiz because Arise 360 starts now.
Now, as we do every single Friday, we have the selected best stories from the past week. So if you missed anything, we have exactly what you need to know. So coming up today on Arise 360.
First, Kachi will give you her 360-degree tour of the week's best stories from all around the world.
And of course, OG will be reviewing a week in music as she reminds us of what exactly went down with our favorite pop stars.
Also on the show, we'll find out what showbiz news has got people talking as we check out what's trending on social media.
And the part every single person waits for, I'll be talking with Arise correspondent Judita Da Silva live from London to find out what's been going on in film and television. All that and so much more right here on Arise 360. All right, now let's get things started in what has been a very eventful few days. Now, here is what happened from continent to continent in a week around the world. As always, starting off in America, media mogul Oprah Winfrey and her long-time friend Maria Shriver joined forces for one last social media appeal to their followers to get them to vote. Now, Maria Shriver is no stranger to politics and elections as the daughter of a Kennedy and the ex-wife of former California state governor Arnold Schwarzenegger. While Oprah and Maria made a video which Oprah posted on Twitter for her over 42 million followers, while Oprah told her followers that everyone is equal in the voting booth and they should make their voices heard by voting because America depends on it. Well, the U.S. midterm elections are due to take place on November 6th, so fingers crossed everybody's voting. And staying in America, after Donald Trump angered the estate of late music icon Prince, well, he did the same to music star Pharrell Williams, and it was for the exact same reason. Well, Pharrell's hit song, Happy, was played at a Trump rally in America, just hours after the tragic shooting in Pittsburgh, which killed about 11 people. Well, Pharrell's lawyers served Mr. Trump with a cease and desist letter, which included a statement that said there was nothing happy about the tragedy inflicted upon our country on Saturday, and no permission was granted for your use of the song for this purpose. Well, the letter also said that Pharrell would never give Trump permission to use his music, so using it would constitute copyright and trademark infringement. Well, Pharrell joins the long list of stars who have said no to Trump using their music, including Adele and, of course, the Prince estate. Now, over to Latin America. This week, the popular American network, iHeartRadio, announced that it was going to expand to Mexico. Now, the official launch of the new iHeartRadio Mexico will be on November 3rd at the Fiesta Latina concert, where Latin music stars like Pitbull, Nicky Jam, and Becky G will all perform. This new partnership between iHeartMedia and the Mexican company known as Grupo Asir means that live broadcasts, streaming stations, and online podcasts from across Mexico and, of course, the U.S. will be available on one platform throughout Mexico. And all the way in Asia, the 14th annual Chinese American Film Festival took place this week, and it continued the growing partnership between China's movie industry and Hollywood. Well, the event was held at the Ricardo Montalban Theater in Los Angeles, where over 500 films and TV shows from China and America were presented. Now, some of the movies will also get a screening in mainstream cinemas across Los Angeles and San Francisco. 20 awards were handed out, with the most prestigious Best Film trophy going to a Chinese production called Operation Red Sea. Well, the award for Best Chinese American Co-Production went to fan favorite The Meg, which stars Hollywood action star Jason Statham. And now let's head over to Australia. The American music star Childish Gambino disappointed fans after he pulled out of his tour dates for next month. Well, the singer, rapper, and actor known as Donald Glover broke his foot and was advised to keep resting. He first had to cancel his show at the Voodoo Festival, and then he announced the cancellation of his concerts in Perth, Melbourne, and Sydney, as well as his headlining performance at the Spilt Milk Festival in Canberra on November 17th. Well, Childish posted a message on social media saying, look, he would not completely cancel his world tour and he will be back soon. Meanwhile, the organizers of the festival wished him a speedy recovery and said that they would announce a replacement act very soon. Well, we cannot wait to find out who replaces the one and only Childish Gambino. Well, in Europe, if you love chocolate, then you will definitely love Paris, because that's exactly where the annual Salon du Chocolat kicked off this week. Well, the biggest and most important international chocolate fair in the world had its opening day in the French capital, and it did so with a fashion show that showcased clothes made almost entirely from chocolate. Well, we just can't believe how creative, but also immensely delicious those outfits looked. And of course, the fair will end on November 3rd and will include the festival highlight, which is a grand competition between some of the best pastry chefs in the world. Now, over in the UK, it was an immensely emotional time for the new member of the hip-hop group, the Black Eyed Peas. Her name is Jessica Reynoso, and she took the stage big time beside the group at their concert in London this week. Now, when Jessica was 16, she impressed the Black Eyed Peas rapper, Apple the App, as a contestant on the first ever season in the Philippines of The Voice talent show. Well, Jessica, like Apple, is half Filipino and half black, but she never met her African-American father. She shared that experience, and apparently it motivated Apple to promise to introduce Jessica's talent to the world. And believe it or not, he did. Jessica performed with the Peas at the Hammersmith Apollo and on their new single, Ring the Alarm. The concert also featured a cameo performance by pop star Nicole Scherzinger, and it was just divine. Well, in India, the chief content officer of Netflix, Ted Sarandos, made a very important trip to India this week. This was to attend the Mumbai Film Festival, and he certainly went bearing gifts. Now, he was there to outline Netflix's plan to aggressively pursue the Indian market, which already has about 250 million consumers of online content. Now, this is big because Netflix currently has 10 original shows in production and 9 original films, which are due to be released sometime next year. While their 2018 Indian series, Sacred Games, enjoyed major success, but it was tarnished by the Me Too scandal surrounding the co-founder of its production company, Phantom Films. Mr. Sarandos confirmed, despite the scandal, that Sacred Games was safe and, may just get a second season. Well, finally to Africa, where 140 films have been selected for screening at the 2018 edition of the African International Film Festival, AFRIFF. Well, according to organizers of AFRIFF, 12 documentary films and 9 panorama films will be screened at the festival, which is now in its 8th year. The big thing is 31 out of the 140 films have been made by Nigerians, while the other 109 films are from a huge variety of countries, including South Africa, Uganda, Ghana, Iran, Spain, Mexico, Brazil, Tanzania, Colombia, and the list goes on. And also in Africa, the one and only Nigerian music sensation, Starboy himself, Wizkid, who recently released his Fever music video, broke the Nigerian YouTube record this week as the most watched video in under 24 hours. Well, Fever was watched by over 1 million YouTubers in just 20 hours. Now, here is an even better story. That beats Wizkid's own record for Come Closer, which got 1 million views in 21 hours. Well, the video features Nigerian songstress Tiwa Savage, who plays his love interest. And to be honest, their chemistry has really got every single person talking. Anyways, the duo were also the top 2 trending topics worldwide. Shortly after the video dropped, Wizkid posted a very sweet message online saying, "This one is special to me. Made a movie with my best friend." Don't we just love to have best friends? Well, it is time for a short break now, but do stay tuned to the show because coming up, it's OG and she'll be doing the week's music review. And then I'll be talking what's trending on social media with Judita Da Silva in London. Don't go away, we'll be right back.
Welcome back to Arise 360. I am OG Akbe. From whizzing around the world with Catchy to whizzing around the music industry with me, it's time for this week's music news. Police swarmed Sony Music's headquarters in London after 2 people were stabbed in an incident in the staff's canteen. Paramedics were also called to the building located on Derry Street in Kensington, and an arrest was made later on. The building, which is also home to music mogul Simon Cowell's record label, Psycho Music, was the picture of panic as people were evacuated from nearby office blocks and roads were closed off. The Metropolitan Police first said that no guns were involved and they were not treating it as terror-related. Eyewitnesses later revealed that it was 2 men arguing who then armed themselves with knives from the canteen. From next week, one of our favorite shows will return. Yes, Coke Studio Africa is back for 2018. The new season of the show is going into production in Kenya's capital, Nairobi, and will once again be creatively directed by Tim Howard. The show promises to be another dynamic showcase of the best of Africa's music talent, working together in collaboration with the best of Kenya's local talent. You can look forward to chart stars, hit songs, as well as unforgettable live performances. The British girl group Little Mix did not get the warm reception they were expecting after their performances on TV talent show X Factor in the UK. The band performed their new song, Women Like Me, to a live audience, but viewers at home soon took to Twitter to criticize the show. It was clear that the band were miming to the song, forcing fans to question why they did not sing live. The absence of rapper Nicki Minaj, who features on the song, was also criticized as awkward, leaving fans very disappointed with the band's return to the show that launched their career. With his latest stunt, rap star 50 Cent took to his long-running feud with fellow rapper Ja Rule to a whole new level this week. After mocking Ja Rule for the cheap price of his concert ticket at $15, 50 Cent bragged that he had brought 200 tickets to the show in Arlington, Texas on November 9th near the stage just so that he could keep the seats at the front empty during the show. 50 has since deleted the post, but Ja Rule, without addressing the ticket controversy, directly posted a message on social media that said, "I get under 50 Cent's skin. I love it." Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper's success with their new movie, A Star is Born, has been unstoppable, and they clocked a double victory in the UK this week. The movie's soundtrack, the single Shallow, were simultaneously at the #1 spots on the UK album and the UK singles chart. This marked the third time that Gaga achieved the double, having done it with her album, The Fame, and its single, Poker Face, and then also with her album, The Fame Monster, and its single, Telephone. Bradley Cooper also became the first Hollywood actor to go to #1 in the UK, since Nicole Kidman did it with her duet with British singer Robbie Williams back in 2001. And that's all of this week's music news. So I'm going to hand back to Kachi now, because she's going to talk all about social media.
Thank you so much, OG. Yes, indeed. There is really no Arise 360 show that is complete without keeping track what you, social media wizards, have been up to. So let's talk what's trending. And you know it helping me out with all the social media showbiz madness. It's Arise correspondent Judita De Silva live from our studios in London. Hi, Judita. It's great to have you. I love that color on you.
Kachi. Thank you so much. I'm doing the stripy thing. I don't care if it ruins the cameras. I like stripes.
It looks great. Okay, folks, now I know this has been trending like mad. Even I am so excited. Will Smith, Martin Lawrence, what is going on with Bad Boys?
Oh gosh, this has been over 10 years in the making. Bad Boys 2 was released back 15 years ago. And then finally on Facebook, Will Smith and Martin Lawrence released a video saying that it is confirmed Bad Boys 3 will be happening and it's going into production. And when you think about it, Sony confirmed Bad Boys 3 was going to happen back in 2015 for release in 2017. Then they announced in 2016 it was pushed to 2018. Now in 2018, they're saying it's definitely going to be released in 2020 and it will be called Bad Boys for Life.
Bad Boys for Life. So what can we expect to see from this one? Is there any little, you know, just tiny little something where we can just get to just at least calm ourselves down? Because we're so excited to have Will Smith back. Plus, we have Will Smith collaborating on a lot of things right now. Chris Rock, Kevin Hart. So, you know, is it a possibility that, you know, we might just get more reboots on his other shows?
I'm telling you, Akachi, if you ever want a different job, you should be a movie exec because you always hit the nail on the head. It is perfect timing to have Will Smith as a commodity with you. You are so right. He's in Aladdin. He's got a new cartoon the trailer was released last night. And everyone knows that if you've got him as an asset, he brings in viewers. Looking at his YouTube channel, has got millions of viewers. So with Sony, they're smart. They've seen that now is the time to capitalize on him because they'll be using the upswing of Aladdin fame when that's released next year. And that's going to go towards this. But they're still being very hush-hush. Now that they know how much interest is in this film, they're being very, very tight-lipped about the content, which characters are going to come back, what the storyline is going to be. All they know is that it has the two essential stars, which is Martin Lawrence and Will Smith.
Okay, well, we will be patient, very patient. But what else has been trending all over our favorite platform, social media?
Okay, I don't know whether I like this or hate this, but Disney has announced that they're bringing forward the release date of Frozen 2. Now, in 2013, when Frozen was released, it basically took over the world. And that song, Let It Go, performed by the star from Broadway, Idina Menzel, was played by every single child on planet Earth. And finally, when we all think it's gone, they're bringing Frozen 2. It's been moved up from November 27th to November 22nd next year. It's only a week, but when you're a Frozen fan, it means a lot, and everybody's been tweeting about it, and they're on Instagram going, oh my God, it's coming out a week earlier. It's going to be so great. And so parents of young children are very happy that they can get their kids into the cinema that week earlier.
That's amazing. Okay, now let's talk about Frozen 2 for a second. There was a bit of a controversy at some points in time about the sexuality of Elsa and how, you know, since it's a family movie, how would children react to that? So, I mean, looking at all of this, the fact that they're moving the movie up, does it mean for some reason they were able to fix that and all is well in Frozen Land?
See, this is the key about these cartoons, is that they try to bring no gender conflict, no sexuality conflict into it, because the cartoons are meant to be universal in a sense. So there's no race, there's no gender, there's no sexuality. It's meant to be for everyone, by everyone. But the key with Frozen is that it's tapped into that feminist nerve that is so potent right now, because it has two female leads that are very powerful. And so extra things have been loaded onto them. So now they're running the dicey ring of should they confront it and give her very clearly outlined sexuality or not? These are all decisions that will be outlined in the next film, or what they're saying is that based on the narrative they're going to choose in Frozen 2, it will circumvent it altogether. But you have to wait and see, because they're remaining tight-lipped, because if they don't talk about it, they can avoid the controversy in the lead up to the release. But it's something that in 2018, younger kids are so much more savvy. You might just have to deal with the issue. We saw it with Apu in The Simpsons with the issues of race. These issues are being discussed at younger and younger ages, so you can't avoid them.
Wow, okay, well, I also hear, you know, I saw something on Twitter last night, and to be honest, there's a lot of confusion surrounding it. Now, please, tell us a little about Parker Curry in America. What's that about?
Okay. Parker Curry was this 2-year-old girl who March of this year went viral on social media because there was a picture of her at the National Portrait Gallery transfixed at a portrait of Michelle Obama. And her mother took the picture, put it on Instagram, and it went viral. Michelle Obama saw it and actually invited her over to the White House. And when they met, they danced to Taylor Swift, they giggled, and they just fell in love with each other. So you've been tracking over the week Halloween. And on Halloween, she dressed up. She's now 3 years old. She dressed up like Michelle Obama in that portrait and recreated the pose, and that has gone viral too. Michelle Obama saw it and then retweeted the picture and said, "You nailed it." And everyone's just in love with Parker Curry now.
Oh, even I am in love with Parker Curry right now. That was such a cute look. Anyways, I mean, that is an amazing way to represent somebody like Michelle Obama. Anyways, Juditha, that was fantastic. We'll look forward to talking to you in film and television. Thank you so much for joining us. All right, for now, that's all from Juditha in London, but not to worry, she'll be back with more on film and television later on in the show. Well, it's time for another quick break, but trust me when I say you don't want to leave, because coming up, it's over to OG once again, and she will be doing a big roundup of the past week in art and culture. So keep it tuned to Arise 360. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Arise 360. I am OG Akpi. With so many shows, plays, exhibitions, and more, Arise 360 likes to help you make sense of it all. Here's a look at the week of art and culture. The Royal Ballet launched its 2018-2019 season this week with the dark masterpiece Maya Ling, created in 1978 by Kenneth Macmillan. The ballet is based on the true story of Crown Prince Rudolf of Austro-Hungary, who is forced into a political loveless marriage with a princess. He then becomes obsessed with a 13-year-old girl, and a pair to go on to commit suicide together. Like many iconic ballets at the Royal Opera House, the music is fantastic, and it fits perfectly with the dark, suspenseful production. It is a show audiences have enjoyed for years and will continue to do so. Dangerous desires, family secrets, and political intrigue twist through every moment of the daring choreography. Also this week, Condé Nast announces 2019 launch of a Hong Kong edition of our favorite Bible, Vogue. Vogue Hong Kong will be the 26th edition of the glossy publication and will feature fashion and lifestyle content in both Chinese and English. In the past 3 years, Condé Nast has entered emerging markets such as Middle East, where it launched Vogue Arabia in 2016, and in Eastern Europe, where it launched Vogue Poland and Vogue Slovakia earlier this year. The publisher has now set its sights firmly in Singapore, where it hopes to set up an office in 2020. The Tate Britain Museum is presenting the largest Edward Burne-Jones exhibition to be held in the UK for a generation. Burne-Jones is best known for his many works of myth and legends and his ties to pre-Raphaelites. The exhibition brings together over 150 works, including paintings, stained glass, and tapestry. This fascinating presentation explores the work and legacy of artists who achieved worldwide fame during his lifetime before inevitably falling out of fashion. The English National Opera's new production of Porgy and Bess had its London premiere, marking the first time the London Company has presented the production. The piece is set in South Carolina in the 1920s and features an all-black cast. This production of George Gershwin's only opera is lavish and delivers knockout choruses and heartwarming renditions of famous songs like Summertime. Eric Green and Nico Cabell take on the roles of Porgy and Bess, with James Robinson directing. We are sure this show will be a hit with audiences on the other side of the Atlantic too, when it heads to New York's Metropolitan Opera for the 2019-2020 season. A new Leonardo da Vinci's exhibition is offering fans and visitors the chance to lose themselves in the mind of a genius. The 500th anniversary of Da Vinci's death is next year, and the Uffizi Gallery, located in the heart of Florence, is celebrating by displaying the largest collection of artwork from the Renaissance artists. The exhibition also focuses on science, with books and folios coming from the rest of Italy and Europe. Other artists and scientists of the Renaissance will also be featured alongside Da Vinci. Nigerian-American playwright Ngozi Anyanwu returned to the Vineyard Theatre this week with a memory play called Good Grief. Anyanwu also stars in a production as Nkechi, the daughter of a Nigerian immigrant raised in suburban Pennsylvania in the late 90s, as she comes to terms with the sudden death of a childhood friend. There's much to admire in the production, particularly the depiction of the experience of a second-generation African-American growing up in a white suburban community. It is a coming-of-age journey of love, loss, and emerging adulthood. We're heading to another break now, but do stay tuned to Arise 360, because coming up, Kachi will be talking to Arise correspondent Judita Da Silva again, and this time they'll be discussing movies and television. You don't want to miss this.
Welcome back to Arise Entertainment 360. I am Kachi Afia. Now, music, art, culture, social media, we've given you almost every single thing you need in entertainment. But there's just one more stop to make, and that's film and television. And here to fill us in with all the film and TV news, welcome back, Arise Entertainment correspondent Judita Da Silva. It's great to have you back on the show, so let's get into this. Let's start with TV. What's been going on there?
Okay, so director Barry Jenkins, remember him as the Oscar-winning director of Moonlight, who had that controversial Best Picture win over La La Land last year at the Oscars. Now, it's just been announced that he has signed a first-look deal with Amazon, which means that he will exclusively develop TV series for the platform. And this is a great thing for any director or any producer to know that you already have a pre-established home for any of your work. And with the first look, they can turn it down and it can then be offered to other people after that, but you know that they get first refusal. And that's a great thing for a creative to just know they have the security of knowing that should they come up with something good, it's got somewhere to go.
Okay, so do you think Amazon perhaps is feeling a little bit intimidated or scared, seeing that Netflix, Sony and the likes are all doing TV series? Like you said, television is a huge market right now. So do you think maybe that's why they're jumping on this gun? And the fact that Barry Jenkins, he already has something going on with Amazon. So, I mean, is this just a little like, okay, let's be safe, let's jump on the series move?
Let's face it, Kachi, you're trying to steal my job, aren't you? Because you've literally got all the scoop. You're absolutely right again. But what has happened is Barry Jenkins already is writing the script and is going to be directing a series called Underground Railroad, but it's a limited series, not a continuing one. And the key is, you are completely right, Netflix is dominating, whether it's TV series or original films. Amazon has to compete to keep up. And the key about Amazon, we talked about Julia Roberts having her own series. They are getting stellar people to work on their projects. So getting somebody like Barry Jenkins, that's right now in the sweet spot of his career, where he had this movie Moonlight that was done on a shoestring budget that had runaway success. He's gifted, he's black, he ticks the ethnic diversity box, he ticks the young box, he ticks the millennial box, and you're getting him to put all of his creativity into productions just for you. It's a genius move.
Amazing. Now, Juditha, this next one has got me quite emotional because I was a huge fan of Avatar. However, I hear there's a development on that. So what will the development be?
Okay, so you know it's been almost 10 years. It came out in 2009, went on to gross $2.8 billion. It's the highest grossing film of all time. But since then, director James Cameron has said from the beginning he saw it as a franchise. He always said it was going to have sequels. We then knew it was going to have 4 sequels. But in the past 10 years, like, nothing's happened. James Cameron has been doing other things. But now, actually, the BBC Network got hold of documents, production documents that confirmed these 4 sequels are in production, they're in development now. And they even have the titles for them. I can confirm that there's going to be 4 sequels. The first one is called Avatar: The Way of Water. It will be out in December 2020. Then Avatar: The Seed Bearer, out in December 2021. Avatar: The Tulkun Rider, out in December 2024. And Avatar: The Quest for Eywa, December 2025.
Wow, so we finally get to know who Eywa is, because that was such a huge thing in the first one. Okay, so do we have castings already for this? Are there people, you know, that have already been casted, or that is another thing that's been tight-lipped about?
Oh, no, this is a good one, because we know Sam Worthington will be returning, Zoe Saldana will be returning, and also Sigourney Weaver. But what he's also done is he's reunited with his Titanic star, Kate Winslet, and she signed up to join the Avatar family.
That's so cute. Okay, so now what else has been happening in movies?
Okay, so last year, this accidental hit of a movie at the box office was The Hitman's Bodyguard. It was Samuel L. Jackson, Ryan Reynolds, and Salma Hayek. So it's just been reported by Variety magazine out in America that they've actually signed it up for a sequel, and all 3 of the stars will be returning. So we'll see Samuel L. Jackson back, Ryan Reynolds back, and Salma Hayek. And when you think about it, somebody like Ryan Reynolds has a very busy schedule. So the fact that they've managed to put this in means that it's obviously something that the production company are very positive about, but they're remaining very supremely tight-lipped. They wouldn't tell us the release date, they wouldn't tell us when it's going into production, they won't tell us what it's going to be called, or whether it's just going to be called The Hitman's Bodyguard 2. They're telling us nothing. They just want to let us know it's coming, so be waiting for it.
So we just want to know one thing at least. Are we getting Samuel L. Jackson back?
Yes, because otherwise none of us, let's face it, it's Kachi, you and I are not going to see the film if it
speaking,
hasn't got Samuel L. Jackson.
You got it right.
It's a fact.
You hit the nail in the head.
When I told them Kachi wouldn't go without Samuel, then they called him and signed his contract.
What? Who the hell? What? Exactly. That's how. Thank you. So you see, she looks out. She does. Okay, folks. Now, to be honest, it's like a movie sequel Christmas. Okay, first Frozen, then Bad Boys, now Hitman Bodyguard, and of course Avatar. But we know you have one more movie story for us. So hit us. What would that be?
Okay, this one I saved the best for last. Gladiator, the epic film by genius director Ridley Scott. For ages, people have been poking him for basically almost a decade that, you know, what's happening? Are you going to do a Gladiator 2? Can you do a Gladiator 2? Because we remember at the end of Gladiator, Maximus Decimus, played by Russell Crowe, died and went off to reunite with his family in the Elysian Fields. So people didn't know if they could do a Gladiator 2. But it turns out that Ridley Scott himself confirmed that he and Paramount have agreed to put Gladiator 2 into development. The key is DreamWorks distributed the first film, but they're now no longer involved. But Universal Pictures co-produced it, and they have the option to come on board or not, but we don't know if they are on board yet.
Amazing. So do we have a release date for this too? Because, I mean, Gladiator was such a huge movie, and seeing as we're getting a second one, this is going to be, I mean, it's already big. So do we have a release date? Because, I mean, there must be something, Juditha. We cannot just go and just be thinking about this. We need to have a great weekend. So please, give us a date.
Seeing as it's like had almost a decade to get Russell Crowe to actually agree to do it. Ridley Scott is not the guy, Sir Ridley Scott is not the kind of guy who can push. So he hasn't given us the actual date for production. I think what being him and being smart and careful, he wants to cast it right and then say that it's going into production. But what we do know is that Peter Craig, who wrote the script for The Town, that was award nominated, that was directed by Ben Affleck, he's going to be writing Gladiator 2. So that is great casting behind the scenes. So we know it's going to be written beautifully and directed exquisitely. I think he's probably going to try to cast his stars, then let us know it's going into production.
Okay, so we can just keep our fingers crossed on that one. Now, you know, it truly does feel like ages. I gotta tell you the truth, Juditha. It has been a while. I asked you this question, and it makes me very emotional asking you this. So we know that every single day you bring us the long-awaited final video. So today, what will that video be?
Yeah, since we were so excited about Bad Boys 3, I thought I'd keep it within the house of Will Smith. And today's final video is actually called Spies in Disguise. It's a new cartoon, computer-generated animated cartoon. And he's doing the lead voice, as well as Tom Holland, who is the new Spider-Man, voicing the other character. It is out in cinemas on January 18th, 2019. And it's by Blue Sky Studios, and it's called Spies in Disguise.
Identity scan initiated. Hello, Agent Sterling.
Let the beat drop. La 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 la. Party, all the ladies wanna know. I'm hanging with the boys. I can tell you what they say. Hey, that's if you wanna know. They say.
It worked. Subject appears disoriented.
Oh, Walter, what did you do?
Pigeons are everywhere and nobody notices them. It's the most perfect form a spy could take.
Unbird me right now. Stop, girl, seriously.
Hey, Lance, look at me.
Look at you? I can't not look at you, Walter. I can see my butt and your face at the same time. La 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 la.
And of course, that is all from our studios at London with Juditha De Silva, and it is almost the end of the show. But before we go, I do have to ask you, Audrey, though, this has been a fantastic week. So what would you say stood out for you this week from all the plethora of stories we had?
I know. I think maybe the Wizkid and the
Really?
Tiwa Savage music video.
Why does that stand out? Why?
I mean, I thought it was a beautiful video, and it was so controversial. And so, I mean,
But do you think there's a thing? Like, honestly, do you think there's a little something?
Yeah, I think
going on
there might be a thing, but I think that that's just art, though. I don't think that it was just to portray their love. I think it was just for the music video, for that one thing. But
I like how political you're being.
No, I'm not.
You're saying, oh, there could be a thing, but then it's art. So what are you? You know what? It's all right.
that's all I'm saying. It could be there could
Yeah?
be a thing, but I think for the video, it was just plain art. I don't think it had nothing to do with portraying their love or anything. I love the video. I think it was clean and crisp, and I love the sound of the music, and I think Wizkid is doing a great job.
No, for me, I think what story stood out, I think it's going to have to be the situation with regards to Pharrell Williams saying he does not want Trump playing his songs at his rallies. As you know, Trump likes to just go there, pick the song and play. He's used
We also
Adele.
took a Kanye West story.
Exactly,
that
and then there was
political,
Kanye.
and he was like saying he wasn't
Well,
into
the thing
politics
from
anymore.
Pharrell Williams' perspective, it's more like Pharrell is saying, I don't want to do this anymore, okay, I'm done, don't use my music. But Kanye was on the Trump side, and now he's saying that, look, I was being used, in quote. Well, it is one of those things Kanye does, but you know, we still, do we still love Kanye? I think we do.
I mean, I'm not a Kanye fan, so don't ask me that. I mean, I love his music, but I'm just not a fan. I just think that he's too controversial.
Well, that will be all from us here in Lagos. Thank you so much for watching the show.
Remember, you can catch us every weekday at 4 p.m. right here on the Arise News channel.
So, until next time, I am Kachi Ofia.
And I am Oji Akpi, and you've been watching Arise 360. Goodbye.
Goodbye.